What is going on, everybody? I was able to go see and check out the movie Alien Romulus. And let me tell you, do you need to big screen it, stream it, or ditch it? You'll find out right after this.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
All right, guys, whenever I go see movies, that are in the space world, with the stars, listen, I got to Star Wars it up. You know what I'm saying? I don't even care. To me, this is headcanon, a movie that is part of the Star Wars universe, but it's the scary side of the Star Wars universe that we don't get to see, during Star Wars. So that's the way I do it. I mean, I got my Stormtrooper glasses on, Big Daddy Vader shirt, the Empire, everything else ready to go. I got dressed to impress Palpatine right there. Vader Bone is back there with me. Like we're getting this thing done. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be talking about the movie Alien Romulus. And let me tell you something. I've heard some people that I kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily say that I hang on every word whenever they give reviews or whatever. But I heard some people come out and say like that this movie's not bad in most cases, which I thought was good, right? So even the people that criticized it wasn't able to say like, oh, this movie's shit or terrible. But I did have one person that graded it below a 5 on a 10 scale, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, so what are we in for? And then I realized like that person, for instance, said words like, well, it was very predictable. Aliens, people die, ship. Bro, if that's the logic that you're going by, every alien movie is going to be predictable. I mean, and then in turn, not be as good as you want it to be. Every Aliens movie is that. What are you talking about? Like some of these people sometimes get on, grind my gears about stuff like this. But Alien Romulus, to me, I just got out of the movie theater actually probably like 30 minutes ago. Really fun time with this movie right here. There are times, like a couple of moments and stuff, like where some people use the phrase jump the shark. I don't really think they jumped the shark. It didn't come out of just nowhere. They actually kind of set it up. The only thing you can say is like jump the shark is like maybe you don't like the design of a certain creature or something like that that gets put into this movie. Because I'm not going to spoil everything for you guys. Don't worry about that. I might give you a couple of light spoilers, like talking about the story or movie or something, but that's about it. But this movie right here, I thought was well respected. The Aliens franchise, like, bro, the opening shot of them slowly panning, no sound because you're out. Listen, guys, they actually followed some rules. There's no sound because you're out of space. Obviously, you only get the sound when you're inside the ship. I thought that like just panning shot they opened with reminded me of the panning shot from the original Alien movie, where they're kind of panning in the empty vessel or whatever, where everybody's basically asleep in and everything. And all that I thought was like really cool. This movie definitely paid respects. I got to give respects out there to Fede Álvarez, man. He done it again to me. I really did enjoy this movie. I thought it was really good, done well, respect. My biggest problem with a lot of these newer things and people that get involved in like these franchises and everything else is simply them not paying respects to the originals. There, none of that. This movie does that like chef's kiss. There's like moments when a person puts on a suit and it reminds you of a scene from the original Alien movie. Like there's just things in here. It's like, oh, chef's kiss. We're going to give homage to the old movie. But I didn't feel like it was like thrown into your face. You might not even remember that scene. The only reason why I remembered that scene and why it pertains to this movie, or at least is similar to this movie, is because I literally went, because this movie is set between Alien and Aliens 2. I went and watched Alien before I went and saw this movie. I highly recommend. Never a bad time to go watch the original Alien back in 1979. But I just thought that the actors did well. I heard even some people that, like I said, some of these people that I watch and kind of trust go out and say things like, the characters were annoying. There wasn't any annoying characters. They didn't do enough in some ways to even be annoying. You have one guy that hated the synthetics, which in this world, they, in this area of the land, they call synthetics instead of droids, but it's the same thing. So like he doesn't like them, but that's because a certain droid made a decision to shut down this gate that his mom was trapped on the other side, and she ended up dying. So he has a reason to act like he's acting. Like I thought they did a really good job of doing that. Listen, I can't think of his name right now, but the actor that plays the droid, the synthetic in this movie, I got to give him props as well. You really could tell, like, it wasn't like they put a chip in his neck and then you can't tell like who and all this stuff. You really could tell whenever he was like the droid that's trying to protect the main character, Rain, and when he was the droid after he met a certain particular person and everything. I'm not going to spoil that, but like, but when he changes after that for a good reason as well. Like I thought even some of the stuff that you could try to criticize, I felt like they tried to set it up. And I thought they did a pretty decent job at that. And that's pretty cool for a movie that's like a horror film. Like it's a body horror space horror movie that, like, sometimes whatever, man. It's like I don't get there are some criticisms I can see and understand, and I can understand people criticizing, say, for instance, a particular creature and how it looked, but like I'm like, hey man, it's got to be kind of weird anyway. So like, I mean, I'm not going to be judgmental of it or whatnot, but I can see people having like criticisms and minor ones up to like, maybe it affects you a little more. There was some CGI that was done here to kind of like, yeah, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything big for you guys because I want you to go watch the movie, but there is some CGI in here that is around a character that you could tell a little bit that it was a little awkward, but I'm not a big CGI guy, so it doesn't like take me out of the movie. It's not bad enough that I'm like, oh God, holy shit. But everything else, that's the only criticism on how this movie looks. This movie looks damn good. I'm talking about set, design, the freaking space ring that was around like the actual planet they were on when they were outside trying to search through this other ship that they thought was unoccupied or decommissioned. Like there's a ring around this planet, man, and the way they did that and handled it, oh my, like this, all that stuff looked cool as shit. The opening, well, not opening scene, but the scene closer to the beginning of the movie, they come out of atmosphere into space for the first time. Oh my God, beautiful stuff, dude. The Xenomorphs here looked fantastic. They looked awesome. I don't know if they were CGI purely or if they went back to the old school days where they used like prosthetics, but whatever they used, it looked good. It was fine for me. The Xenomorph still looked scary. They had a couple of scary moments in there. Because I'm going to be honest with you, there's only like people try to act like you need more. The original Alien movie, 1979 version that we give a lot of props, like, it doesn't have but just a couple of scare moments. When the guy goes out looking for the cat is one of them. And then there's like 2 or 3 other moments. And this movie has more of those, like more than that. So like if we're going to gush over a movie in 1979 and then we're going to look at a movie today and then we're going to act like it needs more of this, it's like, bro, the original that you so-called think is one of the best movies of all time, or at least something that you thoroughly enjoy, only has a couple of scare movies moments in there. There's a bunch of like with the crew. Like I said, I just freshly watched the original Alien movie. There's a bunch of stuff with the crew. There's some setup and all that stuff. Every second wasn't filled with Xenomorph stuff. Like, and this movie even had more than that, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Now, yeah, you can say, hey, I wish there was a little bit more, but I'm going to be honest with you. If you're using prosthetics and everything else, like this is the thing, man. The thing about the Xenomorphs is the mystery, some of the mystery. You rarely ever get to see one that a full scope. It's always them crouching, hiding, grabbing somebody, but you never really see in the full scope a lot of times. And I think that's okay. I mean, for what it is. But yeah, I love this movie. If you even come close to even watching any of the movies in this franchise, this is definitely has to be top 3 Alien movies ever made. You can that's above any Alien versus Predator, and I understand they're not really good, but you can have fun with those. Maybe those are a couple of movies you have fun with, but this movie is definitely, to me, coming out of the theaters, bro. I really enjoyed this movie. Like, to me, there's not a lot of weaknesses. There's a couple of cracks in the foundation or whatever, but like, man, I just thought Fede Álvarez, man, I appreciate you, because he also did the Evil Dead franchise, right, too. I love his his movie that he made for the Evil Dead franchise. I thought he did another phenomenal job of respecting what it was, and he respects the Alien franchise. Please go out and see it. It looks like it's doing good at the box office. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have a bad score. The audience score, I think, is like around 80, 81, something like that. So it's doing pretty well right now, but I wanted to do even better, because I would love Fede to do one more of these, at least one more. Give us one more. I think there should be some time in between the periods we can play around in between Alien and Aliens and get that kind of thing. Dude, maybe we could go on an adventure with like a group of the Space Marines like we got in Aliens, and maybe like one of them is part of the team of this new team. I have to go back and rewatch Aliens, because I can't remember if any of them had like, say for experience to sort of know kind of what they're dealing with. But it would be cool if one of those characters actually did know a couple of things about the creature, and then in another movie we could see him like surviving, like, and that's why he knows some things about it or whatever. But it is what it is. I have to go back, like I said, and rewatch that movie, get closer to the characters to do that. But man, this is definitely a big screen it for the horrors, for the sound, for the big screen, for the atmosphere that you have. Go while there's still people still going to the movie theaters to watch it, or hey, be brave, go watch it by yourself. But do the thing. It's a fun ride. I'm pleasantly surprised by this movie. Is it like the greatest movie of all time? No, it's not. But is it a respectful version to the Alien franchise? Yes, it is. And I put it up there. Right now, man, it's hard. It is so hard, because I do appreciate Alien and Aliens, but Alien Romulus, like, the lowest is going to be is 3. And I'm not going to lie to you, it might be knocking the door of one of those 2 movies. And I love those original movies. But hey, guys, thank you for paying attention, man, and hanging out with me this long. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channels. Please, if you've already seen the movie, let me know. Like, if you disagree with me and you don't think it's a good movie at all, period, hey, man, put your comments down below. Let me know what you thought. But until next time, peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.